for the title. It's 9. It's a championship. Come along. It's a 300 for Dasha Kovalova. Can the legend answer one more time? You better believe it. Gets 10. Gets the win. Third time. What a moment for Shannon O'Keefe.
You can't win if you quit, so don't ever give up your dreams.
Another decade of PWBA greatness starts now. The second stop of the 2025 PWBA season pays a visit to fabulous Las Vegas, where 5 bowlers are set to compete to win the tiara, a major, and big prize money at the USBC Queens. From the Suncoast Hotel and Casino, one athlete will be part of women's bowling history tonight. We have Stepladder bowling. 4 of the 5 finalists are international. Our first match sees Clara Guerrero of Colombia going for a second career major against Canada's Bercier. The winner moves on to reigning player of the year, Lee Jane Sin of Malaysia. The 2 seed also from Malaysia, youngster Ramli, and the top seed, the lone American, Josie Barnes, trying for her first ever USBC Queens. Welcome, bowling fans, to fabulous Las Vegas. It's great to have with us. It's Queens night. Dave Ryan alongside Kelly Kulick, the Hall of Famer who twice has won this event. Kelly, what a showcase. 10th year of the relaunch, more history tonight.
Yeah, Dave, you know, it gave players like myself and Liz Johnson a chance to go back to work and do our job that we're great at. The Lost Generation, Missy Parkin, Stephanie Johnson, a chance for them to fulfill their lifelong dreams. And that 10-year little girl who wants to come out and play on the playground and says, I want to be a professional bowler when I grow up. This is what it did.
Pleased to be joined, third member of our crew, by Sid Brummett, lane level. She's joined now by the top seed, Josie Barnes.
Josie, since the relaunch of the tour, you have won 3 standard titles and 1 major. Today, you could win the second major and put your stamp to be Hall of Fame eligible. Walk us through what's going through your mind when you hear that.
I'm really trying to keep it simple, right? Like, if I start thinking about, second major, Hall of Fame, everything is going to get out in front of me, and I'm going to feel like I'm chasing. And so, for me, the most important thing is just taking it a frame at a time and enjoying my time.
Thank you, Josie. Best of luck to you today.
Sid, Josie, thanks so much. Kel, time.
From Colombia, Guerrero.
Clara back on TV, trying for her first title in 9 years. Her only title was a major, 2016 in Green Bay. We're about to kick off the 64th USBC Queens, the first major of 2025. Clara gets us started left lane. A little high, just a touch 4 pin stands for her for the mark to open up the match.
Excellent opening shot for Clara. As you said, Dave, her last major 9 years ago. She's been on the competitive edge. We saw her at the U.S. Open finals a few years ago, just missing that one little edge to get her to that title championship match.
She was the top seed. Struggled that day, only bowled a 142 against Brianna Cote in Rochester. But that was as the top seed. This is the 5 seed. Much different story. She's finally healthy after battling finger injury last year. Good solid start. Has a 4-pin, has her mark. Torn ligaments in her right ring finger derailed her season in 2024. Here's Valerie Bercier. Originally from Brampton, Ontario, now lives in Muskegon, Michigan. Outstanding bowler, collegiate superstar at Nebraska. Goes for her first ever title. She's put together a great career. Now a mom. Husband John behind her. Little John is here in the house. He's only 3. It's been quite a week for the family. First shot. Perfect. Pipes it in the 1-3 pocket and crushes it. Any player who rolls a 300 game during tonight's telecast will receive a $10,000 bonus courtesy of GoBowling.com. Visit GoBowling.com to find local bowling centers, get tips from the pros, and for all the latest news and information about your favorite sport, bowling.
Yeah, Sin Lee Jane had a 300 during qualifying
Might have
this
one.
past week. A lot of strings of strikes, 9 in a row, 10s in a row. Very possibly could see one tonight on tonight's show.
Her first show since 2017. That was a major as well. Wants to make some major magic tonight. Good start. Great start.
Valerie went to University of Nebraska, 5-step approach. Ball's in the height of the backswing. You can see 18 at the arrows. So I always talk about the indicator somewhere between 10 and 12. Right from there, it's just going to shove towards the 3-pin and just tip up late enough to crush the 8-9. All 10 straight back. We were told all week long as players, make our gutter board 10. Try not to get it too far outside of the tracer. 8 was the limit, but really focus it on keeping it around that 10 board, the back portion of the lane.
Here's Clara. Good looking shot. Help on the 7-pin down. It goes trip late. Part of the 2019 USBC Queens show. She lost to Jane on tonight's show, the reigning player of the year. In the semifinals, 267-224. So that was won by Dasha Kovalova in Wichita.
Clara's 5-step approach walks very heel-toe the first 3 steps. Ball drops freely into the swing. A little bit late here. Look how her left arm is out to the side. Eyes are dead focused on her target going forward. Look at her power step from the 4th into the slide itself. And Clara always holds her balance and posts a shot at the release point.
Third frame looks for the double, has to hurry, doesn't hurry.
2-4-5 lead for Clara.
Avoids
Just a
the
little bit
bucket.
light. Yep. So interestingly enough, as the week went on, right, we always want to hit the 1-3 pocket. Lefties 1-2. Only one lefty made it in the top 64. You can see Clara just leaks it a little bit too far right down lane. 10 should be the gutter. She gets it over out to 8-9, and the ball is still progressing towards the 6 and the 10 pin out there. So it gets really far behind the head pin, leaving just a 2-4-5. It's almost the less you were in the pocket, the more better your carry was, meaning the light hits carried better than if you were flush. Witnessed a lot of 9 pins being left by the women this week.
See the tape on her left knee. She's bowling with a torn meniscus in that knee, and has been for a while.
She knows surgery's in her future. She's just postponing it until she absolutely has to.
Looks for 3, looks for the mark, has it. Big conversion the way Valerie started the match. And Clara said to us yesterday, TV can be so challenging. It's gotten the better of me so many times. A lot of runner-up finishes tonight. She wants to flip the script. And as for Valerie, it's been so long, 8 years since she's appeared under the bright lights.
She did make a show in Nebraska too. I think she finished 2nd or 3rd there. Again, elite athlete out of the college ranks, and now committed full-time to bowling on tour this season.
Wow. Tattoos the pocket. Those pins had no chance whatsoever. Great start for Valerie.
Again, another 5-step approach. Gets the ball a little bit late in the swing. Balance arm is out to the side. Look at this knee bend here. This is what I look for. This is the power step where the push-off foot can really drive into that sliding step. Ball is just shoulder height. Soft hand at the bottom, just projects the ball towards the 3-pin, tips up just ever so lightly. And again, 10 straight back for Valerie. 3-bagger, looking for 4 in a row here on the left lane.
217 average for her in the tournament. Left lane. Yes, again. 4 up, 4 down.
Seen a lot of posts by Valerie on social media, practicing up in Muskegon, putting in the time and effort. Her and John really worked diligently to lower her tilt, meaning she spun the ball more than she used to. She's really trying to roll it more as she progresses with her game.
Quite a long history, Team Columbia. Incredible accolades for her national team. And she said to us, even if I don't win again, and I want to, I'm still very proud of what I've accomplished. She's 43. She didn't say I'm retiring. She said, but I'm happy with what I've done. Interesting. Works on a spare 4th frame. Holds nicely. And finds the 1-3 pocket with power. A great shot. Are you looking for some great PWBA gear? Visit the official online store of the PWBA at shoppwba.com. Get your merch, Kel.
I do, Dave, and we have some brand new
fave?
shirts and sweatshirts.
Yeah.
I like the history of the PWBA, so like
There's Lindsay.
starting point.
Looking good there.
All the colors and hoodies.
I like the hoodie. I mean, blue is my favorite color.
You'll see in the coaching tip I'm advertising for the PWBA, so you know I like the gear.
All right, Clara, big shot here the way Valerie started. To cut it to 20.
Focus her eyes are on her target.
Wants it, has it. Both bowlers are locked in. Kelly, you were prophetic in predicting the big numbers here, at least through the first half of the first match.
Yeah, well, I think the high scores during qualifying came through games 4 through 7. So you see the ladies right now, there's 5 of them. Ladies got to practice. Clara does a great job. She's just got that high little rotation. Ball rolls forward, and again, never deflects, goes through the pin so strongly. But we did see a lot of the high scores 4 through 7. So 5 ladies got to practice. We're probably in that zone now where we're in that high scoring position. If they have to continue chasing it deeper inside, we might see a little lower scoring.
Former Rookie of the Year, Bercier. Looks good. Got the nickel. 5-bagger to begin the match here, the front 5 for the 4 seed. To me, when you get halfway there, you start talking about it.
It's as tough as it is. You're bowling against some of the best bowlers in the world. She said lay off, lay off. Now, the distance of the pattern 45 feet. Obviously, longer patterns, you get to play closer to the head pin, so you should have hold in front of you, meaning you could miss inward slightly, and the ball is just going to push or shove in the direction of the 3 pin. But yeah, I mean, she put up a big score yesterday in the round of 4 to be one of the 3 players to advance to this match now.
Looks to go 6 for 6. Got to hurry, not quite enough. And just 6-pin count there. 2, 4, 7, 8. So a lot of perfection comes to an end for Valerie.
Yeah, that's just execution. You'll watch at her launch angle when she goes to release the ball off her hand. Quick at the bottom of the swing. Hand comes in front of her, meaning her hand rotated really quick. It's projecting all the way in this direction, the focal point being towards the 10-pin. Way out of range. Remember, I said it's got to get to that 10 board at the tracer. If it does hit board 8 or just outside slightly of it, it has to be closer to it, meaning like that 38 to 40 foot zone. That's the safe zone. Funky spare right here.
It's a big miss too with a count. She doesn't cover. Well, that pin in the back there, the corner pin, the 7. Problematic for Valerie this year. Underway from fabulous Las Vegas, Nevada. Match 1. 2025 USBC Queens here on CBS Sports Network. Hotel, casino, resort here in fabulous Las Vegas. Great gaming, great food, great entertainment. Fabulous golf course right next door. The pool outside is awesome. And we're seeing some incredible bowling to begin the Queen show here tonight. Off the open. Big miss by Bercier right before the break. Now a huge opportunity to take the lead with a couple strikes for Clara to turn this match around in match 1. To cut it to 4. In the 6th, has to hurry, does just enough. Boy, turn the corner, Kelly, just to give her enough angle.
It did.
To take out the corner 10-pin.
Those lighter hits, too, she got it a little bit further right than she wanted to, where she's sliding. So she's at 25, 17. Again, I said if it gets to 8 in front of the hash mark, it has a chance. You can see the ball deflects towards the 9 pin, rolls up late just behind the 10 pin or the head pin itself. But those light swishy shots is what really made the 4, 5, or 6 baggers along the way. It doesn't have to be flush.
See the win probability, Kel.
Yeah, 57%.
This could change with this strike right here, though. Looking for the 4-bagger in a lead for the first time in the match. Crossing over, runway Brooklyn, and just leaves the 3-pin, so missed the target that time.
Yeah, she was way inside on that time. I figure she's more towards the center arrow, board 20 or so. Cuts it off in front of her. Watch, she's a little bit deeper, sliding 26. Yeah, she's been right around 17, 18. That's 20. So remember, it had to be over in this range right around here. She's way 5 boards inside of where the ball needs to be. It never projected off her hand directionally right down the lane. That's a lucky break just to leave a 3-pin.
218.6 average for her in this tournament. First ball average of 9.29. And about 6 strikes a game on average. Entering championship Tuesday here tonight. That's a big non-strike. Critical 3-pin. Has her mark. So the spare makes things really interesting as Valerie steps up in the 7th. Clara just glad to be healthy again after that nightmare last year with a torn ligament in her finger. They didn't know what it was for a long time. So basically it was 25% healed.
Yeah, and I roomed with her one week and she was still bowling, not knowing what was going on with her finger.
Tough.
It is. I mean, understanding what we have to deal with and go through just to throw a bowling ball.
Saw the accolades, Valerie. Team Canada on the right lane, 10-pin stands. Gear up for some world-class pitch play as Tottenham takes on Manchester U in the UEFA Europa League final. See which club can claim their spot in next year's Champions League. Coverage begins tomorrow, 2 Eastern, right here on CBS Sports Network and streaming live on Paramount Plus. So after the fabulous start, the front 5. Open frame in the 6th. Now the 10th pin. Got that. So 9 spare for Val on the right lane, but the match has changed dramatically.
Yeah, what once was a huge lead is now only 5 pins. 3 frames away from the outcome, and see who advances to take on our next bowler.
She's a medical nutritionist, therapist. Did some Zooms with clients from Michigan and points beyond today from the hotel and casino. Had to cancel a few though because she had someone to get ready for, as in the Queens.
Yeah,
change her flights in the hotel.
Twice she changed her flights and hotel.
For a good reason though. Almost a 7-10, they all go down the end. 10 Burr on the 10-pin late. That's a big strike and what could have been a complete disaster for Bercier.
So Clara sliding 26, Valerie's just slightly deeper, 18, 19. Head pin off the sidewall, 7-pin. Was late to fall for itself. I love Valerie's reaction as she throws a messenger 10-pin. We see it so much on the men's tour, but we do get to see and show the prowessness and powerfulness of the ladies on the women's tour sending messengers as well.
8th frame, Clara, right lane, big shot, big strike. All down for Guerrero to keep things very tight, very interesting. Let's go back to Sid.
Through the first 4 frames, Clara was throwing the 2 different bowling balls. She was throwing a pin up Equinox on the right lane and a pin down on the left lane. In the 5th frame, she did make a change to throw the pin up Equinox on both lanes. She wanted a bit more continuation down lane on the left lane after she left the 2-4-5.
Thanks for that information, Sid. So the difference, the pin-up ball is going to really try to lope down the lane and get down the lane much easier with a later response time. Getting so angular, she's going to stick with that on the left lane. Only 5 pins down going in the 9th frame. That's a big frame for Clara.
Huge. Foundation frame for the lead here. Trying to end that long stretch of time without a title. Held its spot nicely. Crunches the pocket. And Clara has a lead by 5 pins.
I was a little surprised by that one, Dave. She got that inside again. It was much deeper, around 1920 again, but more left to right, really just feeding it towards the 3-pin. But as you can see, the ball continues to go towards the 8-pin, which means it's right the ball, right part of the lane, right reaction.
9-1 in match play for Valerie. Her 9th frame to go back in front. Responds! Flirting with disaster again with a 7-10 split. But the messenger kicks out the 10-pin cross deck. And she's got a lead instead of the 7-10 to look at.
I need to see it in slow motion. Where'd the pin come from?
It's the BPA moment of the match, Kelly, for good reason.
9-10, 3-6. What came from the back wall? There it is. Head pin.
Head pin.
Off the side. Wow. She is just as shocked as I am. What a great shot. It could have been a flat 10, ringing 10, but the messenger carries. She is still 5 pins ahead going into the 10th frame. She can control the match by doubling in the 10th. Oh,
4-pin stubborn there. Good shot.
Good shot. Clara got ahead of the move. Remember, I said she was deeper on the last shot, around 1920. Valerie was deeper at first. Now she's sliding 28, so she did make the move. 19 at the arrows. You could see it getting to 11-10, projecting in that direction. You can see the color of the ball just wants a shape back there. Checks up a little too quick. Single pin.
She's on it. 2017 U.S. Open, she was a 3 seed and lost to legend Liz Johnson, who's honored here this week. Inducted in the PWBA Hall of Fame. We'll have more on that later in the show. She lost 255, 223. Liz had a 6-bagger. That did the trick. And that was the last time she was under the bright lights of national television. Returns here tonight. And she's got her hands full with Guerrero in match 1.
Well, Valerie here, she has to put some pressure. Either way, Clara has to strike on the first ball in the 10th frame to advance. Anything less, Valerie goes on.
There's one.
233 for Valerie. This is a must-strike scenario for Clara. Better shot here, 28. You can see she gets it to a 12. Now the ladies are starting to move inward. They're starting to dry out that part of the lane. It's telling them they have to continue to move inward or move left. But Clara must strike on this ball and get 8 pins to win the match to advance.
Strike an 8. Has to have it. Clara. Just enough.
She gets it.
Just enough.
Wow, and that shot was a little bit different. A little bit aloft in the air. Over the front, a little bit more ball speed, a little more zip. Remember, I said the lighter hits were more successful carrying this week. 8 pins for Clara, and she gets to see Sin Lee Jane in the next match.
Tapping that 8-pin, Kelly. It was late.
Well, Valerie had those 2 strikes, one with the messenger, then another messenger again.
Clara told us last night she meditates for moments just like this, envisioning success, foreseeing a victory. Here's that moment. Needs 8 for the win. Has 9, has the victory.
Clara will advance.
She gets through. It was not easy.
Clara wins match number 1. Big scores these first 2 games. Sin Lee Jane comes on. We have match number 2 coming up in the first major of the year.
10th PWBA anniversary. And what a way to start it here with a tremendous first match out of the gate. Guerrero, the 5 seed, beats Canadian Bercier, and it wasn't easy. 237 to 233. Couple of turkeys in the match helping Clara get the victory. And a lot of great moments. The relaunch of the PWBA Tour. Emmy Williams Jr. recaps some of those fantastic bowling moments.
At the 2017 PWBA Sonoma County Open, Colombia's Rocío Restrepo won her 3rd PWBA title and had proven to be one of the best young players of the relaunch era. But it wasn't just her performance that left an impression that night. It was the answer to a question from PWBA Hall of Famer Carolyn Doran Ballard.
I work really hard. I practice a lot. I did for many times, but I always find a way to come back as stronger. Don't ever give up on your dreams. As long as you have faith and you have the right people around you and surround yourself with positive people, it's gonna happen. And you can't win if you quit. So don't ever give up your dreams.
From Rocío to another player who's always motivated, Kelly Kulick. In the first 2 seasons of the relaunched PWBA Tour, USBC Hall of Famer Kelly Kulick had amassed 9 Stepladder Finals appearances, but was unable to hoist a trophy in the Tour's new act. However, amidst tragedy, there often is triumph.
Kelly wants it. Kelly gets it. Big strike for 224.
The future PWBA Hall of Famer's breakthrough finally came at the 2017 Fountain Valley Open against then Tour rookie Verity Crawley in an emotional win.
How much was she on your mind today?
She's been on my mind so much. I mean, not only was she my mother, she was my biggest supporter, but she was my best friend.
In a sports landscape where young athletes often provide memorable moments, then 17-year-old Jillian Martin became the youngest player to win a PWBA Tour event at the 2021 Bowl TV Classic. Martin nearly won an event in January of that season after displaying her skills at the 3-event Kickoff Classic Series, the first PWBA competition since the COVID-19 pandemic. Now a junior competing at the University of Nebraska-Lincoln, Martin has since added to her growing lore by capturing the 2024 USBC Queens as a 20-year-old. Simply remarkable.
Email thanks. More history created tonight. Rating Player of the Year, Lee Jane-Sin from Malaysia. Tries for a 3rd straight major win, which has not happened since the relaunch of the tour in 2015. Can she do it? We'll find out next from Vegas. Manager, Suncoast Bowling Center. Becky came around Waters before the show and took some pics, and awesome. Thank you so much for all of your assistance and hospitality to our fantastic field of bowlers and our TV crew. Here we go. Jane head-to-head. Clara Guerrero. Truly an international spotlight showcase. Kelly here tonight with 4 of the 5 bowlers. Foreign-born.
Yeah, the Asian countries, Singapore, Malaysia, have all sent over representatives of their federations to compete on the PWBA Tour.
Reigning Player of the Year, back on TV. Little high, 6'10". 2 majors last year. U.S. Women's Open in Indy. Tour Championship in Detroit. Could she win the Queens here and make it 3 in a row, which has not been done since the relaunch?
And so pleasant to interview too, right, Dave? She was just so
Always
jolly.
smiling.
Always
smiling.
Yep. Just enjoy being over here.
Whoa, chop. 10-pin stands. Early open frame for Jane. That's surprising.
Yes, it is.
And it opens the door here for Clara.
Well, first frame, if you're going to miss a spare, leave an open frame. That's the frame to do it in. I did see her watch her throw a couple 10 pins in her practice, and she had struggled with the 10 pins. So not sure if her angles are just incorrect or something, but again, first frame, that's the one you want to leave it in.
Such a confidence boost for Clara after struggling at the U.S. Open a couple years ago in Rochester. Looking for that big win tonight. Holds its spot nicely and finds the pocket. Great shot from Clara. We talked about it. Her only title came 2016 PWBA Players Championship. Ashwaubenon, Green Bay, winning 3 matches on her way to the title, including beating the recently named PWBA Hall of Famer Liz Johnson. Legend Liz in the final. Clara had her victory. The shadows of Lambeau Field.
Yeah, and the major differences between 9 years ago when she won and now, just over her physical game, her ball speed, as you could see on that replay, was much, much firmer and straighter through the front. I mean, face it, we get older, lose a little flexibility, lose a little endurance, but Clara, again, for her longevity of her career, is still showing up and being contender every single week out on the ladies tour.
That comes in high, 3-pin, gets knocked over late. How about that? That is a major break, and write that one down on your score sheet if things are tight late here.
I turned my head for 1 second.
So did
she had trouble with the approach. She didn't post the shot. She didn't stick. So that same head pin that came off the sidewall to knock out the 10-pin for Valerie in that first match, something just likes to spin to win. It's like a slot machine waiting for that double diamond to show up at the end. They won the jackpot on that strike.
Here's Jane, coming off the open. That's a lot better. Blast through that 1-3 pocket with plenty of tempo, plenty of power. Wires that directly at it.
Yeah, the women coming on the show, look at her hand behind the ball. Great balance. She has a little bit higher tilt, not so much. She really keeps it in front of her. Look at here. So there's 5 board assistants right here, and she's going to have the center ball go directly between those 2 indicators, the one at board 15, the one at board 10. Again, I said don't get it outside of 10, and then as you continue to move left, it's going to have to come a little bit closer to the head pin. I think 13 is the farthest it can get. Pockets at board 17. Boom.
Trip 10-pin there, looks good. A 225 average for her, 9.37 on the first ball entering play here tonight.
Yeah, and out of all the women on the telecast, in the last frame average, she was the highest. 24%. So that's when you had to finish out a match, just like she did last year on the telecast. Boom, boom, boom. She showed up in the 10th.
4 wins for Jane a year ago. Clara's 2019 season, speaking of that, Queens, she lost to Jane in the semifinals, 267-224. They meet again here in 2025. Nice looking shot. Defeated in the right lane for Clara. Any player rolls a 300 game during tonight's telecast will receive a $10,000 bonus courtesy of GoBowling.com. Visit GoBowling.com to find local bowling centers, get tips from the pros, and for all the latest news and information about your favorite sport, bowling. For the front 4, confidence appears to be building. It was after the Queens last year and before Nashville with that break. She was practicing and took a header. Some footing issues on the approach. That's when she tore ligaments in her right ring finger. Completely destroyed her season last year. Healthy now. Little footwork issue there at the foul line, but she's okay.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure if she's sticking or slipping. I mean, usually when you accelerate from the top of the swing and start to pull down on it, you have to fall off balance. Your body's just compensating for that. You can see as she's letting it go, she kicks the trail leg up in the air. Her upper body was not stable, so either the ball's getting a little bit too late in the swing, or she really just stuck on the approach. From that point of view, it definitely heel slow down much quicker, sticking at the end.
Here's Jane. Nice. Again, the right lane, right at it. Watch party back home in Malaysia. 7 a.m. in the morning tomorrow when this show began on Wednesday.
Okay, so look how high her backswing is, and that's because the ball gets in the swing very quickly. So now her power leg is here, the left arm is forward and slightly out to the side, quick power step, and no pull down of muscle from the top of the swing. So she creates the height of her swing by getting the ball into the swing much earlier on that first step. Freely gets there, hand rolls inward, but that's what she's so good about. Her rotation off her hand is the same every single time.
Nice shot, no help with the 9-pin there, Kel. Trying to get right back in the match after the open in the first frame with just 9 total pins.
Yeah, I remember I said earlier, Dave, too, remember that the more flush the women were in the pocket, the more opportunity there was to leave a 9-pin. So first evidence is right there, and you come up a little bit light, shaker strikes carried much better.
As 9-pin has the mark.
I remember I said in the opening, the center, the laydowns are 25 years old, and that's just having a high friction center. That's why the leg kegel used ice this week to try to float the ball through the front with more ease. The ladies clearly couldn't play near the track zone. Everything had to start left. And Clara's executing each and every time with 4 in a row, looking for 5 in match number 2.
For the front 5. You bet. Nothing but shrapnel on the pin. After that shot from Clara, she is locked in. Follow the PWBA on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, BowlTV.com to keep up with the greatest women bowlers in the world. Get the latest video highlights and news each week to follow your favorites. As always, hashtag BowlFearless. 32-pin advantage now. Look at this lead with a perfect start.
Looking for the 6-pack. And as the matches went longer, Clara said one of the things she did very well was lofting the ball over the front a little bit more to avoid that front friction.
For the front 6. Not this time, 4-pin. Good shot.
Tries to stuff it, and that was a good leave. So as the matches went on, as competition went on, if you didn't stay ahead of the move, this was a lucky break by only leaving the 4-pin. Sliding 27, she's clearly at 19-20. In between those 2 rangefinders, just a high hit, but the ball has the right motion as it continues towards the 8-pin and the 7-pin. 4-pin leave, first frame, first bare opportunity for Clara.
7-time world champion Kel for Team Columbia. Now lives in Texas. Start Wichita State. When she came out, the tour shut down. Living her dream now. 43 years old, has the 4-pin. Big shot for Clara, big lead, Kel.
She has a 31-pin lead halfway through the match. The legend from Columbia going against the player of the year last year. Who's going to win?
Sent down by 31 pins. 4 wins for her last year. Greater Nashville Open, Rockford Open, U.S. Women's Open, and the Tour Championship in Detroit. She was incredible in 2024. And on the verge of history, could complete the Women's Bowling Triple Crown in less than 11 months. Started last year with a thrilling U.S. Open win over Dana Zavgalova. And she kept it rolling the Tour Championship. Took down Jordan Richard for her 2nd major title. And 4th of the year. What a season. Back on TV in 2025. That right lane looks good. And gets help with a 10-pin.
It was her first year out on tour for the full time. We had seen her popped up in a few events in previous years, but committed full-time last year, is committed full-time this year for the entire 25 season.
Back to Sid Moore in the left lane.
This left lane for both players is starting to hook a bit early. We're starting to see them migrate to the left. We saw an early ball change from Clara last match. We're going to continue to see the players migrate their feet further left, but keep their angles straight enough to maintain their carry. It's going to be pertinent that they stay ahead of the move on this left lane. As for the entire event, the players saw that the left lane's hooked earlier, and their ball did not want to go through the pins the correct way, but only on that left lane.
Yeah, I agree, Sid. That's great information. I always try to see where they're sliding. She's at 24. We know Clara was around 28. Again, still 11-12. The ball starting to deflect a little bit for the flat 10. That's what happens. Remember, the forward oil only went 20 feet. That is only 1/3 of the lane. 45-foot pattern, high friction surface. They will have to start chasing it left.
Flat 10 does have that 10 pin, but still, Clara is in great shape here.
Yeah, massive lead of 31 pins as she steps up in the 7th frame on the right lane.
Works on a spare. Can put a stranglehold on this one. She told us last night she felt very comfortable being in the 5 seed. Liked the idea of climbing the ladder. She said, why not? Why not me right now? Making a case for that for sure. Big strike right lane. They'll miss the U.S. Open Cup showdown. The San Jose Earthquakes host the Portland Timbers in the round of 16. Coverage begins tonight, 10 Eastern, right here on CBS Sports Network, streaming live on Paramount Plus as well. Big night of sports on the network.
Clara's on a
chance to go by 41.
279 pace. She's only missed once. 6 out of 7. Let's see where she slides on this left lane if she can stay ahead of the move. Again, she's already in the 20 on the left lane. Eventually just keep migrating inward. 29, 20, 21, 11, 12, flat 10. Does she get the late hit?
Maybe. No.
Not quite so lucky this time on that 10 pin. Again, 29, 20 at the arrows, 11, 12-ish. You can see now the ball is starting to deflect a little bit, going towards the 9 pin. That means it's losing its axis rotation. It's slowing down even earlier as it's traveling towards the 1-3 pocket. If Clara continues with her massive lead, I expect another ball change or a little information fishing in the last few frames.
She'd like to be in the position of fishing. Late in the match. Cross lane, has the 10 pin, has the spare, keeps that solid lead late in match 2. 4 or 5 international bowlers here tonight. Rosie Barnes, our top seed, the only American-born bowler on the show.
Yeah.
And she is a major herself. 2021 U.S. Open, Rohnert Park, California. She waits. Some more bowling first. Man, directly at that 1-3 pocket. Part of the Bowl TV highlight of the week. 2 300 games, spotlighting that. Jane had the first one, the second round of qualifying. England's Verity Crowley recorded hers in the 3rd round of qualifying. Nothing like it, Cal.
They never
12 up,
get
12
boring.
down for 300.
They never get boring. They don't. Vegas is also hosting the women's championships. There are many 300 shot there as well.
Left lane for Jane. Right at it.
I think the left lane is definitely a benefit for Jane. Her ball speed is firmer, so you could see this ball started to pick up earlier in the mid lane. So again, she's sliding. Clara's at 29, Jane's at 23, 17. It's really trying to push towards the right side. It wants to go towards the 6 pin in this direction, but the lane keeps picking it up early enough where you can see it gets in that forward rolling motion.
Clara has learned to live with the pain of that torn meniscus and will eventually have surgical procedure. She's got bigger things on her mind right now.
She's looking for redemption for sure. Ooh, ring 10.
Pin, nice shot.
Yeah,
she liked it.
I did. You could watch her again. The ball just shapes through the pocket the right way. 6 pin gets horizontal, wraps right around the 10 pin. 26. She's a little. You can tell she's 18 on the right lane. 6 pin just drastically wraps itself around. Slight deflection of the ball. She's got enough lead. Just keep controlling the pocket. Don't do anything to try to test anything. You can see her knee is wrapped right there, struggling through the injury. But right now, Clara, with her years of experience, is just playing smart. Control the 1-3 pocket.
Assuming she fills here and has her spare, double and one will win it. Got the 10 pin. That's the right road for her. She will head after this event to the Colombia national team again, 4 weeks. The Central American Caribbean Games in the Dominican Republic. That's what she needs to shut out Jane and end the 2 major run for the star from Malaysia.
I think Clara used to take off her wrist device when she would shoot at spares, and I'm noticing she's keeping it on. Left lane hooks more. Struck the last time.
Looks for the first. Came in high, 6-10.
Yeah, unfortunately just not well executed. Had a little bit loft over there, trying to get left and deeper. It's not going to push or shove or freely just float down the lane. 29, you can see 21 on more of an inward angle. Remember I said, here's our window. This is the box we're trying to get the ball through, right between those 2 indicators. Down on board 15 and board 10, she's well inside of that. Good break, leaves only the 6-10.
Member of the World Bowling Writers Hall of Fame. Multi-time Athlete of the Year in her native Colombia. Put together a fantastic career. Just lacking the wins on the tour.
Needs 2.
That might change here. Big 6-10 cover. So she can't shut out Jane, but still maintains the lead.
She can't shut her out, so that means Jane will see if she can prove her high statistics of all the ladies, or she can close in the 10th frame.
Jane's 10th frame average, 24.1. Entering play here tonight. She'll need some great shots. Here's Clark. Well done. 5 seed. 43 years old, trying to get back in the winner's circle.
Well, here's
finishes up with a 236 go.
And the fun fact is, Jane has not missed on the right lane. So if ever there was a time to keep that string going, it's right now in the 10th frame. Well, she will need a double and 9. She needs the first 2.
Anything less and it goes to Clara. Advancing up the step ladder again. Gotta have it. There's one.
Packs it back.
And packs a punch.
We watched her do it all the time last year. Last year, the Players' Championship, the US Open. She's sliding now 24, just slightly deeper, 18 to like 14, 13, 14, very, very tight, small angles. Her rotation allows the ball to stay on line directly in front of her. Her ball speed allows the ball to stay in line in front of her. She is just aiming for that 3-pin and doing what she does best, repeating shots.
Dedicating this to Sin Gaga, her grandfather who passed away April 14th. They were very close. Wants to win this for him. There's another one. Trip 10 pin.
Same identical shot.
Duplication.
So you know our hashtag Bowl Fearless? Mm-hmm. That's it right there in front of us.
Fearless, Gal.
Look, 17, 12, a board right of where she was on the last shot, almost directly over the top of it. She needs 9, Dave.
She wants that triple crown. Back to back to back.
Look at the people in the audience. They're holding their hands together. You can feel the tension with this last shot in the 10th frame.
9 to win. For the victory. Got it.
3 shots. to defeat Clara Guerrero and advance to the next match. That is your last year's Player of the Year, and she is going on to the semifinal match.
Dynamite again.
Wow, two
James
Malaysians.
does it one more time, Kel.
Two Malaysians head-to-head, 3 in a row. How far can she go?
Scintillating action in the second match. Sin steps up and pipes 3 shots in the 10th and wins by 2 pins over Clara Guerrero, 238, 236 to advance up the step ladder. For our 2-time Queens champ, my partner Kelly Hewitt brings us this week's Coach Plus tip of the week. Kelly.
The Coach Plus tip of the week is what I call the timing shuffle step drill for the two-handed bowler. It reinforces the proper timing and technique for that power step to come forward as the two-hander is going into the slide step. When doing a new drill, I always recommend trying it without the ball first. To be effective, start about 3 to 4 feet back from the foul line. Have your sliding toe pointed in the direction of the pins and have your power step slightly perpendicular to the lane itself with a wide stance between 2 legs. Imagine the ball is in your hand and just gently start cradling the elbows back and forth. When the elbow goes back and can't go back any higher, that's the signal to the brain when that shuffle step or that power step should start to come together with your slide foot and then slide into the foul line. Now let's try this drill with the bowling ball. I chose a 10-pound house ball, conventional grip, fingers way in. Remember, it's all about the fundamentals and feeling that shuffle step as it comes together. Try using this drill if you're first starting out as a two-handed bowler, or even if you want to reinforce those fundamentals to develop the proper timing and technique for the two-handed style.
Bercier Ramli, only 21 years old, also from Malaysia. Will take on Sin. All Malaysian match here on CBS Sports Network. USBC Queens rolls on. More great bowling on the way from fabulous Las Vegas, Nevada. Located just outside of the Summerlin area of Las Vegas, surrounded by world-class golf. So great to be here at Suncoast. 10th anniversary of the relaunch of the Women's Tour. And a huge event here tonight. Chad Murphy, Executive Director of USBC, is here. Hello, Chad. Thanks for all you have done for the Women's Tour. So integral in bringing women's bowling back on a professional level, and the worldwide reach of bowling is so exceptional. Case in point tonight, 2 Malaysian stars head-to-head.
Well, to your point, she just made the senior team, stepping up. Guess who was one of her role models? Jane.
Of course. Kuching, Malaysia is a small state outside of the mainland where Kuala Lumpur is, but now lives in Kuala Lumpur with the national team. So the youngster, Ramli, high start, 6'10" for her. She learned 2 days before the team was leaving, and 7 Team Malaysia players came from Asia all the way here to Vegas, that she was going to join the trip. She was offered a chance by one of the coaches and said, well, I've never been to the U.S. I'm not really ready. I'm not packed, but yes, I'm going.
One
and
of
when
her
you're
dreams.
21, Kelly, that's what you do, right?
Well, again, Dave, the relaunch of the tour, aspirations and dreams to come true. She's living proof. Slight delay here as we wait for the 6'10" spare to be reset. Now, she went high. We all know so far from Sid's information that the left lane hooks. First frame, few shots in practice that she gets, about 8 shots. See if she convert once we get the 6'10" set up.
She has been on TV in Malaysia for team events and the World Youth Games. We'll get these pins reset here.
All right, Dave, so we're in a gambling town. What are the odds? First trip to America, first PWBA event, USBC Queens. It's a major. 21 years old, you're legal to gamble, and you make the telecast. Go put $1.
Places of all the towns.
Yep.
Las Vegas. She just told us last night she got off the plane. She's so excited to think about the shopping. She loves to hit the high-end malls. So we'll get the 6'10" back up here shortly and gives her a little more time to think about it. $60,000 for the winner here tonight.
Beautiful
Josie's,
trophy.
already clinks the $30,000 as the runner-up. At least wants, of course, the 60 in the championship. That's the top seed.
And this is where all the money goes to into the majors itself. You have the extended career over the course of the spring and the summer, but the majors is where all the money is floated at the top.
Pins back up, and after a long wait, the youngster does take care of business, Hazira Ramli. Let's go back to Sid.
It was just yesterday where we saw Jane do the exact same thing that she just did to end her match against Clara Guerrero. She got all 3 in the 10th after Alexis Runk had poor fill ball pin count. She got all 3 in the 10th to win by just 1 to stay alive in the contenders bracket midday yesterday. Yesterday was her first time getting all 3 in the 10th in this event to move on, and the second was here on live national television.
Now Sid, she faces the dreaded 7-10.
Yeah, well, remember, she opened the last time in the first frame and won the match by throwing 3 in a row. 24, the foul line, 17, again getting it to 10, 11, 12. You could see, watch the ball go towards the right side, towards the 6 and the 10 pin. Just lost enough rotation for it to deflect, leaving the bedpost, the dreaded bedpost, or the 7-10 split. Now, the pins bounced here pretty good. There's a chance we could see her make it. Now, she didn't get to practice during the commercial break, so she's either going to continue to chase it left or possibility of a ball change.
Wants it. 10 pin, yes. 7 pin, no. Prior to that effort on the right lane, all the competitors have been 20 of 23 for strikes on the right lane, 11 of 23 on the left, so a huge difference. And we saw her finish on the right lane, of course, at the end of that last match, beating Clara with 3 straight. Okay, so open frame and some Lane Talk stats, some big numbers we've been talking about, Kelly, that are just so cool to go over and apply to these matches tonight.
Yeah, 6 strikes in one game, you're on that 210 type of pace. So 6 strikes is going to give you the average somewhere between the 210 and 220 range, which most of the women have on the telecast. Lee Jane going to bounce back. Yes, she does. Throws the strike in frame number 2.
3 seed tonight.
She's smiling. She's just like,
always
she's so
smiling.
happy.
Help from Rob Gottschall. So Hazira's Lane Talk stats, more at lanetalk.com, of course, to track those numbers. Drastically different than her opponent tonight.
Yep.
Almost the bucket leave, and just 8 is the count.
At least the 5-8.
Missed the mark there, 5-8.
Yeah, watching her practice on her 8 shots didn't seem like she was very comfortable. Not physically, obviously, but just kind of the ball reaction, kind of unsure. You can see the neon thumb hole itself. So the ball is still pushing this way, gets towards really the way outside of the head pin. In my way of reading that reaction, the ball is not starting up early enough, or in layman's terms, it's just not hooking early enough in the mid portion of the lane. So that's why it got behind the head pin. And again, have to wait to reset the pins for her. So the 5-8 leaves the spare. She feels like she's forced left. I think she can continue to go a little bit further left, or ball down and stay firm in the same part that Jane is in.
Tricky leave here. Takes care of business nicely. It is 8:15 in the morning on Wednesday in Kuala Lumpur right now. Her parents in their state are watching. Never thought she'd be here. Was so impressed and happy to see Tuna Keem win on the men's tour in this state, in Reno, at the World Series of Bowling. Won the Chameleon Tournament this year to become the first ever male winner on the PBA Tour from Malaysia. So clearly, Malaysian bowling is making a statement. Much better shot left lane.
Yeah, so we know Clara finished her on board 20 on the left lane. She's sliding 20 at 9:29. She's 19:20-ish again. There's that window. Again, keep it between this little slot. Look for the window panes. Get it right in the middle of that area. We call that the spot. Just get it to that spot down the lane, and chances are you're going to control the 1-3 pocket on each and every delivery. Same ball. Let's see if Jane just chases it a little bit further left. Pow, 10 straight back.
Right at it again, and tattoos the 1-3 pocket with purpose, with power again.
And it's interesting to me. So again, where she's sliding, where she's playing. And remember, Clara was in that position of the lane as well. So was Valerie. There's been a lot of traction, a lot of oil being taken away from that portion of the lane by the balls going down the lane. So as the women keep staying ahead of it, they just got to keep chasing it left. But her ball speed and axis rotation is what helps her to keep it in front of her and aim for that 3-pin.
What a year, 4 wins, Kel. Player of the year last season. Has a lead now with that strike. This to expand it to 11 pins.
Little bouncy in the front.
Oh, can it be?
Another 7-pin, another 7-10.
7-10. 2 in 1 match. That is a rarity, Kelly Kulick.
I think she's a little surprised by it too, Dave. She did get it a little bit inside. We know the left lane hooks more. She's sliding almost the exact same spot on the other side. 18 at the arrows, and she's inside that window pane that I was talking about, high on the head pin itself. 7-10 could have been the 4-6-7, the big 4. That's where the double move or triple move is where she's going to have to make on that left lane, because she's moving into all that dryness the other women created in previous matches before her.
Just enough for the 10-pin, another open frame. So with a chance to expand the lead to 11 pins. A free fall instead, down by 13. Here's Ramli, the 21-year-old, with a chance to go up by 23. Speaking of her age, it's interesting. We asked her yesterday how old you were, and she said I'm 22.
22.
We looked it up today, and she's actually 21. She's not 22 until July, but in Malaysia, in that culture, as soon as it's January 1st of 2025, she assumes and considers herself to be 22.
Oh, so everybody in the world celebrates her birthday.
That's right. No bucket, no problem there with just a single pin on the way. So she's 21 for now.
She's 21. Very tall, very athletic, petite in stature. 5 steps. Gets the ball again in the swing really quick. You can see she has that high backswing. Here, she's into her 3rd step right here. Her power step has to come together somewhere up here, creating that slide. She has a long way to go to get to that foul line. And as the ball lags up in the air, she just accelerates to the bottom of the swing.
Has the mark. The nation's sports federation pays for lodging, all her coaching in Malaysia. But none of the coaches came over with the group this year, the contingent, 7 bowlers. So getting some direction from the older bowlers on the senior team who are here.
Yeah, the national coach, Wendy Chai, back in Malaysia, and then the state coach, Angelo Koe, is also back there. So he told the veterans, hey, look over the youngsters.
It's worked out pretty well.
It's done very well, yep.
Youngster here.
She's throwing a lower RG ball, symmetric. Pin is down, really just kind of slow response.
Left lane, nicely done.
Gets it. Sliding 30. She's 20-21 where Clara was finishing up. Gets it to 12-13. You can see no direction except straight towards that 3-pin. That was the focal point of the week for the women. Keeping it in front of you. Any wider or steeper angles to the front give you a little bit of trouble, and a couple art designs afterwards.
5th for Jane off of the open. The only time she's missed the pocket there on that right lane. She's been so accurate with it.
Yeah, I think it's due for a ball change, because we all know she's a repetitive robot bowler, can repeat the same shot over and over again. Slightly off her hand, you should have a little miss from to the outside, something to the inside. But there might be some discussion at the commercial break about a ball change, possibly. Or again, keep trying to move deeper inside.
With a 2-pin for the mark.
I love that her spare ball's red, white, and blue.
Very patriotic for us. Got her spare. Let's go back to Sid.
Jane was having conversation with her ball reps right after her shot on the left lane. She looked a bit confused about how the ball hooked so early. We're going to see her make a ball change here to an attention star. She was throwing a physics blackout. This one should be cleaner through the front part of the lane and allow her not to move her feet as far left. The women talked a lot this week about not getting their feet too far away from the friction, because when they did, they felt like they made 210. So instead, they would ball down and stay in the same zone.
Yeah, thanks so much. So a cleaner pearlized cover. Wow, just annihilate the pocket there. Ball is pinned up. Core wants to look, take longer down. She is 13 pins down against Miss Ramli, going for her first telecast. We are in the semifinal match. The coveted tiara waits in the championship match. Who's going to get there?
Coming up Tuesday, June 17th, 7 Eastern, only on CBS Sports Network. U.S. Women's Open rolls in Lincoln, Nebraska in the legendary Sun Valley Lanes. Last year, Malaysia's Jane captured her first career major, thrilling 226-214 win over Latvia's Diana Zabialova. A victory that helped earn her Player of the Year honors. The best women's bowling returned to one of the biggest stages in the sport. Don't miss it on CBS Sports Network next month. But first business to attend to in Vegas. Dave Kelly, Sid, our entire crew, watching the second half of the semifinal match. What a story here is brewing. Hazira Ramli from Malaysia, only 21 years old, has a lead on Sin. Wants to expand it to 23, does just that. Strikes in the sixth, belts the pocket, expands the lead.
Much better shot, so we know more strikes have been coming off that right lane. Looks like she got her angles closed down a little bit, kept the ball more in front of her, aiming right again for that 3-pin zone as the focal point. Watch, almost like she's shooting darts at the 3-pin. Left arm is forward. Right around 18 at the arrows. Really, really tight line to the pocket.
Mom Nadia, Dad Rami, back home watching. Watch party. Wednesday morning, it must be pretty amazing. To expand the lead again in the seventh. That comes high, though. Does not cross over for a Brooklyn strike. And the 6-9-10 stand here for the youngster.
Yeah, partly execution, obviously, with her footwork. She gets there. Ball starting to come down before the slide goes forward. Dead inside of her target. Doesn't quite project right down the lane. It's a launch angle off her hand. It's really going more towards the head pin. So more execution than anything, but I would still try to stay ahead of the move and keep moving like about a 2-board move inward. 2-1, 2.5, somewhere around there, just to get the ball to float more towards the 3-pin.
Needs the cover, has it, nicely done, 6-9-10. Because she left so late, 2 days prior to the trip, some of the bags did not arrive on time, and her jersey wasn't here until yesterday. So bowling with an alternate all the way through qualifying match play to get this far, but it did arrive on time for the show. And she said that was disconcerting not having it. Jane.
Needs her help.
Looking for help across the deck, gets it with a 10-pin. Down it goes from the scout. The big kick, the big trip. A big strike.
Sliding same spot, 25, 17 at the arrows. I wonder if she's just a little skeptical because she dead flushed on the left lane, came out of the commercial break, now throwing the new ball change on the right. Hey guys, guess what? Women throw messengers too.
Out of 10, now to tie it in the 8th. Runaway winner of the Player of the Year in 2024 thanks to those 4 titles. It was not close. Wants one here tonight. Has another strike left lane. Tying this match up.
She evens out the match with the double. Good execution. Nice and calm and steady as she always is.
As the turkey kill to tie it now to the 8th. Ramli works on a spare. All tied. Big shot. Perfection.
Well, the last 2 times on the right lane, she now has struck. So going in, she's a little bit ahead now. She finds this left lane. She will have to finish on it though.
Back scores right down the middle. Wants a tie.
Very quick setup into her style and approach. Ooh, shake and bake.
Enough. And the lead by 10.
Yeah. Sliding 31, 21 at the arrows. There's that window. There's 3 feet between the indicator at board 15 and the one at board 10. You get it within that 3-foot window, which is a pretty big window on this tough, challenging pattern. That was high scoring. You're going to secure that 1-3 pocket.
Last year was Jane's first full season on tour, and she tore it up. Help late. Big strike. Ties it up again in the foundation frame.
I gotta say, even when she hits the pocket as a light hit, the crispness of the pins going straight back. It's just the power. They go side to side, they go straight back. The velocity as the ball is hitting the pins and result. What a powerful result.
Great pin action.
We are back to even, Dave. 10th frame is going to decide who goes on. We could see a possible tie.
Dramatic hit of the 9-pin there. Looks for the left lane. Has another blast through the pocket. With some heat.
She makes that triangle look like a bulldozer is just running over it.
5 in a row. That was a hammer right through the pocket.
Putting the pressure on Ramli. This is what made her player of the year last year. So clutch in the 10th frame. Time and time again, repeating one shot after the next. It's got to lay. Ooh, trips the 4-7, slightly inside target. I'm just in awe, Dave. I'm watching this young 30-year-old lady, young woman, early 30s, doing what every young girl dreamed and set to do, is make a living bowling professionally in Malaysia. And now another strike here in the 10th frame is going to force Ramli to do the exact same thing.
Looking for 7 straight to finish out the match, does it? Just pounds the pocket again. 2:35. And now the youngster who told us last night when she was 9 years old, she started writing a diary and said when she was 22, she wanted to win her first ever PWBA title. Well, in her culture, she is 22 years old. In ours, she's 21. Regardless of the age, here's the chance.
Oh, way right.
It's not going to happen.
Not going to happen.
But what a run for the youngster. She'll fall in the 10th here in the semifinals. And Jane, the 3 seed, is through to take on Josie Barnes, our top seed here tonight in Las Vegas. One more match to see who wins the 2025 USBC Queens here on CBS Sports Network. In the first and 4th frames, but 7 off the sheet. 7 straight strikes, and she's a winner over Ramli in the semifinals. Next is Josie Barnes in the championship match here tonight. One of the highlights of Queens Week is that it gives the bowling community a chance to recognize some of its best at the annual PWBA Hall of Fame banquet. This year's celebration, held last Wednesday here at Suncoast, was a chance for many members of the bowling community to recognize bowling greats Marianne DeRupo and Liz Johnson. Many members who are competing this week, as well as past members, USBC officials, and Hall of Famers, got a chance to mingle and enjoy chatting with those who came before them and laid the groundwork for what the PWBA is today. The 1992 PWBA Rookie of the Year, Marianne captured 8 titles with 3 major championships, including the 2004 USBC Queens title.
I just wanted to be like my big brother. I wasn't an avid bowler, but she always had her Lynn's bowling shoes on.
Considered by many to be the greatest female bowler of all time, Liz has an amazing 25 titles, including 2 USBC Queens wins.
Athletes to throw a bowling ball.
Congratulations to the 2 newest members of the Hall of Fame.
It was a fantastic night. Liz Johnson, referred to as the GOAT, the greatest of all time, 25 titles. What a remarkable speech she had, and the highest attended PWBA Hall of Fame ever. Marion DeRupa, who I consider having one of the best physical games ever of a female professional bowler. As you see, her 8 career PWBA Tour titles. I got to bowl doubles with her back when I was coming on tour. We made both shows. But 2 legendary women, Liz still competing, and now tonight, as we watch Josie and Jane go for the Queen's coveted title, that tiara, that pendant, the major championship, and $60,000.
We can't wait. Championship match, Kelly's on the way. Sin Barnes head-to-head on CBS Sports Network. One emerges as a Queen's champion. Green Bay became the youngest ever at 19 years old to win the USBC Queens. Sin Lee Jane from Malaysia, America's Josie Barnes, the only U.S. bowler in our field tonight in the final 5. About to go head-to-head. Dave Kelly, Sid, our entire crew, about to witness women's bowling history. Top seed has waited a long time to bowl. Now it's go time. 4-7.
Watch Josie warm up. Her 8 shots. Kind of cycled through a few different bowling balls. Her first ball she tried didn't give her really great reaction. And I will contest to this, Josie was consistent all week long. She was great through qualifying, solid through the matches, even winning by a large margin across the way. So let's see if the leader of this competition can finish it out. 4-7, looking to convert.
4-time champion on tour, including the 2021 U.S. Open. 100,000 that night, not far from San Francisco. 4-7 got that, has her mark, good start. Usually from Vandalia, Illinois, just outside the St. Louis area. Now, of course, in Nashville, associate head coach at Vanderbilt, where she's won 2 national titles as a coach. Also won as a player at Vandy. All Jane has done is win. 1 match from the Triple Crown.
All right.
Nice.
And it rolls up to the pocket.
Again. Shot repeater, Kelly, as you talked about in the last match.
I did. I thought that was going to be a little bit further right off her hand. 24 still, 17, 16-ish. See, she did get it a little bit further right down lane, but the cleaner cover of the ball, really responsive to the friction down lane or where the ball is going to want to hook more in the back portion of the lane. Again, 45-foot pattern. The front oil is only 20 feet. I talked to Tom Henke, who was here oiling the lanes all week, and he said the 45-foot pattern played more like 41, 42-ish. That's inside.
That's high. 6'10" stands there for Jane. So missed the target on the left lane.
I'm not quite sure if she thought it was a pretty good shot, too. That's where I get a little confused. Off to me, sliding 25. That was definitely a little bit further inside of what she was before. The ball's not projecting down the lane. So yeah, way inside that window, ready to fall off the sill itself. Luckily, just leave the 6'10". She did chop this the first match she was in this evening.
236.5 average cut for her tonight prior to this frame.
Yeah, that reaction alone said, like, wow, she was really surprised.
Oh, just like
again.
you said, a chop. And there it goes again. 10-pin stands. Looks over to Team Malaysia teammates incredulously. That is a shocking miss in the championship match.
Yeah, she knows it too. You can see whenever the ball has a little bit of its urethane in it, wants to pick up a little bit and start to hook, high friction center is going to want to change direction. You'd have to throw it dead straight to make the ball go straight. Josie looking to put up her first X on the board on the right lane.
Trying to take advantage of the open frame. Does that. Good pin action. 4 is down late. Up 12, now chance for a 22-pin lead. Let's go back to Sid, more on our top seed.
Josie was not with us last week on the PWBA tour because, as you can tell from her jersey, she bleeds gold and black. She was asked to give a speech at the ceremony for the commencement of the 2025 class at Vanderbilt, where they received their athlete cords. So this is Josie's first event of the year and also first TV show.
How about that? 2-time NCAA Player of the Year at Vandy. 4-time All-American in the Hall of Fame. What a coaching resume as well. Crunch the pocket there.
This is a ball I saw her throw a lot during the week. And in her interview herself, she said she had real good control of the pocket and really good handle on her ball progression, meaning in past years on the tour, she'd come out and she just wasn't sure with every ball in her arsenal what it did, what it played off of one another, but she was made sure that she was prepared, especially for the first event of her season being the Queens, to know exactly what her arsenal was built to do.
Jane tries to respond and does so nicely. Trip 7. That's a good answer in the third frame.
Yeah, she had 2 opens last game. She had 1 open in her first opening match, and now only in the second frame. She's still in that same zone. 17 to about 12. Trips to 4-7. Hopefully she starts creeping inward, making a subtle move, 1 or 2 boards for her as direct as she plays to make up for that early hook.
The second of the 2 opens, Kel, came in the 4th frame for her in the last match with Ramli, and then she went 9 spare and then 7 straight strikes to finish the match. Wants a strike streak, gets a terrible break instead. 4-7-9 split.
I did see a few 4-9s this week. I also saw a lot of 9 pins. She's sliding 26, so she's moved deeper inside. 19. Remember, Clara was there by the end of match number 1, already in match number 2. You can see the ball on the left lane, just wants to pick up sooner. This is a tough spare. It is makeable. You just have to hit the correct side of the 4 pin to slide it into the 9 to convert.
Can't make it happen, loses count as well. So a disastrous frame for Jane. She was trying to climb back in the match. 2 opens again for her. But this one in the championship match against the top seed, and that lead formidable. 36 pins. Rob Gotcha will try to right the ship here.
Like I said, Josie was very consistent. She's throwing a strong asymmetric ball, pinned down. Just kind of is going to slowly make its way towards a 1-3 pocket.
Go up by 46 in the 4th. That's how you do it. That's what you do when your opponent has 2 opens early. The top seed, who was so locked in practice off the TV set. Then when we watched her, Kel, before the show, about an hour when they get time on the TV pair, she was just perfect aces. And that's continued here.
Yeah, and you can tell she's really put time and effort into her game this year. She took some time after the tour season last year, took it off, kind of reevaluate what she needed to do. She got in the gym this year, made a huge improvement working with her trainer and bowling friend back home. You can see she's in better conditioning shape than she was in the past, and it really shows the effort she's put in and the hard work and dedication on the lanes to be in this position.
Lay.
Well, that to hang on there. Loses 6-10. Could have been much worse. No split. Ball TV delivers live multi-channel coverage of the PWBA Tour, PBA 50, Team USA, USBC Collegiate, Youth Tournaments, plus much more great bowling content. Visit bowltv.com to subscribe today. Bowling lives here. Check out the website. Download the app. It's awesome. amazing content at your fingertips.
Yeah, you know, we just concluded watching the last month of the college championships, concluding with the ITC and ISCs. Singles champions were crowned, collegiate teams were crowned national champions. Great athletics comes to you on CBS Sports Network.
6'10", got it. 2 national titles as a coach, as we talked about. Had Vandy for Josie Barnes. Family watch party hit going on right now in Nashville. We got to be pretty happy.
It's another party city. Kyle's back home watching. Little Lisa Ruth.
We miss seeing Lisa Ruth out here, but watch your mom perform tonight pretty well. 7-pin gets a nudge, but not enough to knock it down.
Well, this is the crosshatches. This is where we have to separate the great from the good. And Jane's been in control. She's had great ball reaction, made the right change at the right time. Now she's faltering a little bit as Josie proves to be strong on both lanes.
Seven-pin has that, but the damage really done with those 2 early opens. And the lead ballooning to 44 pins. No room for error now.
Well, only not halfway yet. Long way to go still. Percent probability, obviously Josie has a huge advantage right now. Clean through 5 frames. Misses the spare on the left lane in 4.79. Does she make the right move? No, Greek church. She slid in the same part of the lane. I think Jane was just trying to throw it a little bit faster and pick up the ball speed.
Disaster instinct.
Unfortunately, only half. Watch here. She's been sliding 24, 25-ish. She's still, wow, 21, even further right, but misses inward, doesn't quite project the ball. Right down the lane, devastation.
4, 6, 7, 9, 10, Greek church.
Now, if you're Josie Barnes and you're sitting on the bench,
Another open.
you're thinking, wow, I've got almost a 50-pin lead.
Or 60.
60-pin lead. Josie is undefeated. She is 6 frames away from undefeated and that crown.
Josie Barnes, top seed, huge lead, 60 pins, halfway point. Championship match here tonight from Vegas. Dave Kelly, Sid, our entire crew, bringing home the 2025 USBC Queens. And talk about being in the driver's seat. Up 60, works on a spare in the 6th. Legend from Vanderbilt.
Play.
Quite what you wanted there. 3-6 stand for Josie out of the break.
I didn't think it was a bad shot either. She said right there, you can watch her lips. She said, just need to move, need to move. Again, look where she's sliding, 25. Same part of that zone, 18. Now remember, this has been beaten up the entire 4 matches. All that oil that is anywhere in the middle, which there's only 20 feet of the 4 oil, is just gone away. So this is where the moves have to be bigger, not so much steeper. But I would suggest don't be afraid to chase it a little bit further left.
Our first ever show was USBC Queens. 2012, shot 220 and lost by 50 to Liz Johnson. A legend.
2.
Got to, stays clean. That's most important at this stage of the match with a huge lead. Chandra Beatty won that Queens. Beat Carolyn Doran Ballard 244, 227. Flashback to the 2021 U.S. Women's Open. There was so much money, Kelly, on the line. $100,000. Rohnert Park, just outside San Francisco. And with husband Kyle celebrating. Masks on back then, remember?
Yeah, I do remember it very well.
Life-changing for Josie Barnes. What a celebration for her first major. Would love to have number 2 here tonight. That she's en route. Hang on.
Left lane giving both women a lot of trouble.
Hang on.
A lot of trouble.
6-7-10 split. The last thing she wanted to see here.
Yeah, I said when it goes quickly. And that's just it. It's like you think your normal 2-and-1s are going to be enough to parallel and just keep it towards a 3-pin. You can see, I see the gold or the copper in the ball really starting to flare up quickly as the ball tracks down the lane. And it's just, it has to be a bigger move inside. I don't think you can stay in that part of the lane and just try to throw it firmer. Ladies, just keep going left. Keep going left. Still a huge lead with only a few frames to go.
6-10 for count, so it isn't open, so that does change things. Loses 11 pins, still a 44-pin lead into the 7th for Sin. Associate head coach at Vandy, John Williamson, the head coach, is here tonight. Left lane, right lane breakdown.
Jane on the right lane, packs 10 straight back.
Crucial finish, so nice looking shot.
In overtime too, I feel like her hand has just gotten a little less aggressive as well. I feel like she's really being aggressive at the bottom swing, kind of nice soft hand and just kind of letting it go at the bottom. Still down by 44 pins, 8th frame. Greek Church last time. This left lane has given her a huge battle she needs to overcome if she has any chance of staying in this match.
Really needs this one. So back-to-back jacks, critical. Team Malaysia rooting her on.
Go Jane. Now remember, last time I said she slid 21. That time she was much deeper, 25 at the foul line. Either she just walked a little differently on that last shot for the Greek Church, but she finds a double.
That was that match we told you about against Liz for Josie 13 years ago.
I think that's another one I lost to Liz.
I think so.
Personal note. Why she's the GOAT.
Hook.
Big shot here, wants it up, does, responds nicely. Right lane, 60 feet to success. That's a big one for Barnes. Was trouble there in the 8th with Jane surging, could have really been problematic.
17-11, excellent shot.
Big
Jody
swing.
said, remember Josie said she's huge and very, very competitive. She just, even if the win isn't the outcome, she is just extremely competitive in all aspects of life, all the sports she plays. Very competitive in pickleball. Said her sister was better at tennis.
She's a really good tennis player.
But just very competitive.
Like a high school champion.
What more would you want out of a college coach?
A winner. Foundation frame for a 44-pin lead.
Shot.
She liked it, that's why. Punishes the pocket. Those pins had no chance whatsoever. Shrapnel in the pin, and the lead balloons again.
26, 19, 18. I felt that the women with a little bit higher tilt, meaning more of a spinning type motion, was able to keep, again, the ball in front of them, smaller angles. That was an advantage.
Jane cut to 34. The time's running out.
If Jane doesn't strike out, Josie can just roll the ball down the center of the lane. I keep have to say, Josie and the Pussycats. That's what keeps coming to my head, that old TV show. She's bowling great.
6th place for Jane last year. Just missed the show at the Queens. In Green Bay, won by Jillian Martin, who's here to present the tiara, the trophy at the end of the match here tonight. So strike again for 24. The deficit into the 10th.
Well, if she strikes out here, Josie just needs 9 on the first ball in the 10th frame. And that will give her that crown. All depends on what Jane does here on these next 2 shots. Second shot in the 10th frame, very important. Little double dribble.
Works out perfectly.
Every 10th frame she has been clutch. Every 10th frame.
finds some bounce to it down lane. Looks for one more.
And she gets it.
They trip on the 4-pin for 198. Just 9 needed now for Josie Barnes to win her second major.
I don't know if Jane is kind of kicking herself. Oh, I just didn't move fast enough. I didn't make the big enough move. What happened? Obviously that 610 could come back and haunt her in that first frame or second frame again. Josie just needs 9 pins and she will have her second major title of her career.
Nine pins for the win. She's got it. It's 9. And tonight, Josie Barnes is the best in Las Vegas. She's got the win. She takes home the 2025 USBC Queens. Her second career major. Josie does it. What a moment for Josie Barnes. Think about the watch party in Nashville right now.
A lot of celebration going on.
A lot of celebration. Barnes does it in Vegas. She wins the Queen.